Hello. Hi, Ananta.
Hello.
This is Ananta Aum. Is that the right
Yes,
pronunciation of your last
yes,
name? Okay. And thank you so much for being with us.
thank
I
you.
just wanted to, this is Laura Sanchez-Ramirez with Coaching for Life Goals. And I wanted to bring you a very special guest today. I'm excited for Ananta, whom I met. It was an art of God or the universe through the internet. Absolutely, it was. I mean, I'm getting
Yes,
goosebumps even now.
synchronicity.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was through one of our business programs that we registered for online, and then with another group of beautiful ladies, and we just picked up like that. And but she is this very special, beautiful lady, and let me read you a little bit of what she is, who she is, and what she means to this planet right here. So Ananta is an authority on integrated spiritual living. She is a born clairvoyant whose training started at a tender age. What tender age? 2, 4, 5?
Two actually, but the actual exercises started at 7.5.
Wow. Okay. You're going to tell us a little bit more about it if you feel up to it. So, whose training started at the tender age of a very young age with a great CDAF, physically immortal masters. Ananta has trained with her cosmic guru and is here to share the message of divine love and purity of heart. Each of those words are beautiful. As a member of the intergalactic peace program, her mission across lifetimes has continued to include collective ancestration and the protection of Mother Earth. I love that, and Earthlings alike. Ananta is currently empowering light workers across 8 countries to find their purpose and live their mission in oneness of love and breath, and which is my mantra: one step, one breath. I don't know.
One.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. So, Amanda, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself in your own words and what you bring us today.
Thank you so much for having me here to be able to share this love with you and everyone who's listening to us today and in time to come. Thank you. You know, there's an 8 billion plus population, and it's you and me and the listeners right now connecting. So, what is the level of synchronicity that we're here in this moment together? It's beautiful, it's powerful that we've come here. And my journey began at a really young age, just as you mentioned, Laura. At 7.5, by the time I was 7.5, my training had been quite serious, and I started working with ascended masters and physically immortal masters. So, to tell you a little bit about physical immortal masters,
Please.
they are beings who took birth into a human body, an embodiment, but chose for the benefit of humanity and ascension to not give up, to not transition, to stay on in that body. And they've achieved very high levels of evolution. They belong to different parts of the planet, so they are not limited by any religion or region. And they again share that oneness of breath and love that I'm here to share as a medium as well. And as I grew up, I was a really shy child. I used to paint a lot, and I have two of those paintings right here, just to give you an idea of some of the paintings that have been. There's one here,
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
and this one is called Oneness. And it is oneness with earth, with every single blade of grass, every butterfly, every sky and leaf. It was this moment of oneness with every being. And from early on, I was very clear that I was here in service of the creator. And it didn't matter what people referred to as, you know, because there's so many names people refer to this creator, supreme energy as. So the idea was not to let any sort of limitation come in the way, that we're all beings, we're all breathing, and we're all one. And just to allow everyone to experience that oneness and love. So,
What you
yeah.
noticed that special skill or ability in you? Was it your parents, or how did you realize that you were special in that way?
Um, I truly believe all of us are special because we're made by one creator as one. We're absolutely equal. And the difference probably was that there was an awareness at an earlier age, but it's the difference between a blossom, like a bud, and a blossomed rose, you know. They're one and the same, but only the time tells the difference. So for me, it was at an early age the recognition that I was here. I had consciously taken on this life to serve all my brothers and sisters of all species on this planet. And for many years, actually only until 10 years ago, after 10 years ago is when I started sharing verbally. Until then, it was only through paintings and through poetry. So the first book that we published is called Dying to Thee, and it was a collection of poems that were written from early on. And the idea was to help everyone recognize we're all special, we're all divine, and there's nothing different in any of us. We're unique, yes, because we're here to bring in that style that's so unique to each one of us, but there is no hierarchy, you know.
Okay.
And
So
yeah.
how, so why, for example, you were able to recognize this and others have don't know? And yeah, it is said that we all have that special ability or those special
Yeah.
skills and abilities, but we don't see it. How do we find it?
Yes, so it's about going with it and learning to recognize, tuning into the large data storage that we have of who we truly are. And during one of my sessions, I shared this beautiful, very funny video. There was a little baby rhinoceros that was brought up with a herd of sheep, and the rhinoceros thought it was one of the sheep and the goat, so it started jumping like, you know, one of them. And there was just such a difference in size and in form, but it was just so adorable that because the rhinoceros was brought up with that herd, it thought it was one of them. So similarly, many of us, we take on a human body. We are eternal beings and we take on a human body, and in an effort to fit in, you know, just like become a part of this process that we call life, sometimes we get so caught up in it that we forget our true nature, which is eternal. And that's when we start making the journey back in. And another important point I do share, it's not about becoming something, but really recognizing who we already are. Because who you know, that energy that you were born with, going back inside and being rather than becoming. And, you know, dropping very slowly the conditioning, the expectations, you know, misconceptions that we have about ourselves and life.
I know that you speak several languages, correct?
Yes, I do.
Do I remember correctly? Okay.
Yeah.
Because of
Yeah.
your education and the different places, correct? I remember you
Yes.
mentioned that
Yes.
you went to study. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you were able to communicate and acquire those languages in order to further your education and serve others?
Yes. Yes. So having had this memory was because of past lives. Also, the languages that we all pick up naturally comes from a certain fondness for a certain region, you know, because of the many languages. How is it that you pick up or want to learn a particular language? Being in India, of course, it's very common that on an average people know 3 to 4 languages. So this is, you know, very, very common here. And in addition to that, however, I've learned French as part of my schooling through Alliance Française, which is an established university for learning French. And I
Worldwide.
do I do have soul family there, and it's just beautiful. I'm currently in a process of learning Spanish, which I truly love. I love the essence of it, the love and the passion that
The
is in it.
romanticism and just like French, right?
And we also have children in Germany, so hoping to get to that language as well, because it would be so wonderful to communicate. As part of schooling, I've studied design, and very clearly when I was at design school and I was doing really well at a premier design institute in the country, I wanted to run away because it was not what I was trained to do as a child. When I said that at the age of 7, I was being shown so many things. My masters, my trainers, my guru would show me people's past, present, and future. Or they could, I would have X-ray vision sometimes if they needed me to see an illness in someone's body and suggest what would help them. And this would happen because of them. It was not something I wanted or I could control. It would only, and it still only happens if it is meant to be a part of the process of helping in service. It doesn't come from a space of control or crime.
Okay.
And so when I was at design school, there was one day where I ran away and I said, this is not what I'm here to do. And there was this loud voice from the universe that said, go back and complete what you have started. And in time, you will, we are with you already, but in time, you will begin to be of complete service. So it took a long time after that for me to begin this as a 24-hour service. But until then, there was a balancing of many, many different aspects and different worlds.
Okay.
And
Which brings
so
me
that's
to
my education.
Wonderful. And then, so perhaps, so this brings me then to the present time and your business and
yes.
how we met. And so you want to talk now a little bit about how you transitioned into that business of service, because that's basically what it is, and how you manage the difference between the business mentality and the service mentality.
Yes. Through surrender, I think that has been key for me throughout my life. That there is, and that's one of the key things that I would like to share with the listeners. It sort of segues right in, which is beautiful. That we all have a unique purpose with which we are born on this planet. So what I help people do is to help find their purpose and to live their mission. So it is that which helps you get out of bed in the morning with enthusiasm and say, I'm here, I'm alive, and this is what I'm here to do. And of course, there are days you take breaks, but that passion, once you have a purpose, it just shifts the energy and the motivation with which we live our life. And oftentimes people believe that a purpose has to be something very grand and big and massive, but it doesn't. Oftentimes, actually, a purpose is very simple and very day-to-day. And that's one of the misconceptions I help people overcome and find what their individual unique purpose is. And of course, it varies from person to person, age, gender, all of that.
I was going to ask you that next. How do you manage the difference? And we still have to talk about the business side, but how do you manage the difference between the different clients or people that come to you to help them? Perhaps you can give us an example of a difficult time that you had with particularly one of them, if you can recall any, and how you manage that, how you handle that. Because it's happened to me, and the end result is oh my God, I learned a lot rather than me trying to, you know what I'm saying? So in your case, what would that experience have looked like?
Okay. So, like I said, I've come from a space of deep surrender since childhood. So there have been, I think one of my challenges was in the early stages to learn that not everyone is going to have that level of synchronicity, like just the way you and I connected was so beautiful and free flowing, right? But there are times when, the sun shines really bright and someone doesn't want that sunshine into their house. So they draw the curtains and they want to sit, they want to be comfortable in that space without the sunshine coming into their room. And that was something I had to learn and say that it's okay. And a beautiful conversation I'd like to share in that context, which prepared me for that challenge in context of it, was in my third year of design school, a girl came up to me, a classmate, and she said that, I've been watching you since the very first year. And when I first saw you, I thought you were completely fake. And then as time passed by, I realized that you were being authentically kind and sweet, and that's who you are. So I said, okay, I hadn't realized that someone was paying so much attention on, the way I was and the way I was behaving with everybody. I was just being myself. I didn't go out of my way. And then this sweet person, she said that, but you're too sweet for me. I'll get diabetes if I hang out with you. So I'm choosing not to. But I just thought I should let you know. And I deeply honored her honesty because she clearly told me that it took her time to trust me because of her background. It took her time to come and have this conversation with me. And at the same time, she was very clear, drawing her boundaries, saying that, I like you now and I respect you, but we still need to keep our distance.
But I don't agree with you. I still don't agree with your beliefs or whatever.
And that was a really strong life lesson for me, that conversation, because growing up, I really wanted to share this love and this light and this joy, but not everyone may be ready at that time or in the style, and that's okay. So when I surrendered to that source that is bringing these synchronicities, people who weren't meant to connect naturally dropped out. So there hasn't been, with the grace, there hasn't been a situation where I had a person where it got difficult.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about it in another interview with someone. Not everybody has to like you. And sometimes it hurts.
Absolutely, yes.
It hurts because we're humans, I guess, but it hurts because you think like, I thought I was giving my best. I thought I was providing the best possible information that I could, or being the most authentic person that I can be. And then, you realize that not everybody can like you, just like you feel some sort of you want a distance from certain people also, and even if you don't want to, or you feel guilty for it, but I guess it's part of the whole interaction of humanity, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the moment you start looking at things from a higher perspective, and I'm very grateful for my masters to constantly guide me, to my guru who has been a constant support, that every day reviewing what happened in the day, looking at it from what did I learn today and what is it that I could do better. That has been a constant source of learning this process. So looking at it from the top view, everything is connected. At the same time, everything cannot come to you in the way you may expect it to come to you, because it's not meant to. And the right people, the right support system, the right opportunities will always come your way. And the moment we start tuning into that,
Absolutely.
you really let go people who don't work for you, whether it's relationships or job opportunities, or even homes. If you're renting out some place and it's not working out and you suddenly have to shift homes, trust that it's for a good reason, because there is always something good waiting for you.
Yeah, and you mentioned reincarnation before, and you said that some of the things, that the languages that you bring is perhaps because of other lives, and also, isn't that also part of your interaction with people, that perhaps you meet again and because of another life? So how do you link that together? And tell me a little bit about that reincarnation concept that many people they think they believe, but they're not sure. Some believe, but they don't know why, and some completely don't believe.
Yeah. So I think it's all a matter of experience. Like until one experiences any sort of emotion or concept, it's just theory. So even, where everyone at some point in their life has looked at a person and said something is, vibing right in terms of the language that's used, or it feels right to me, or, I feel drawn to this person. So these are words that people may use. There's a certain attraction sometimes. Many a times people misunderstand a spiritual attraction for actually, they misunderstand it as being a physical attraction. So that, because we have only understood relationships from a human perspective so far, but actually, if we go a little beyond it, you realize that there's something beyond that physical attraction. That whether it's in friends or family, there's something deeper that connects us. And that connection is from a prior time. And
yeah, in my case, I just believe in it. Don't ask me why, how, I mean, who told me to believe in it. I haven't had any particular experience that would tell me, oh my God, of course. It's just a belief, a very rooted belief that I have in that. And yes, I have been exposed to different cultures and backgrounds, and I still believe in that. And I tell my family, my daughters, and everybody that want to talk to me about it, it's like I believe in reincarnation. Oh wow, you've had no, I just believe it.
Yeah.
So that's in my particular experience.
That's beautiful. So here's an experience that we can take you and the listeners through. Okay, so think of the fruit banana. Close your eyes and think of the fruit banana, and you can picture it, imagine it, visualize it, think of the way it, the texture, the smell, and all of that, the color. And now think of this rural fruit that we get called hakabula.
What is that?
Hakabula.
And what is hakabula?
Yeah, open your eyes. So you see, it's only that which you have experienced that you can imagine. Because you've seen a banana in some prior time, that you know that you can see it again or connect with it at any level. But you don't know what a hakabula is.
Oh, I thought it was me. I thought it was me, but I don't understand what she said. Okay, I see your point.
Yeah. So at any given point, if we have a sense of knowingness, which is different from knowledge. Knowledge comes from the mind. Knowingness is here, in the
more emotional, less mental. Yeah.
And you don't necessarily remember when it happened or where it happened. You just know it. And yeah, so that's what it is.
That's it. Hakabula. Does that mean anything?
I just made it up just so that you all know.
No, amazing. No, yeah. So you say that you have published, you have one book that you showed us.
Yeah. Yes. So
you have another book, or this is another one that you have?
Yeah, there's another one. So this is Dying to Be, and we are taking it into second edition now. So as of now, it's not available, but it will come in the second edition soon. And we recently launched a book called Begin to Be You.
Begin to Be You. Okay.
Yeah. So we realized, having worked with several people across 8 countries, that there were certain common factors, certain common questions that kept coming up, but in different languages. The flavor of the language was different. But at the core of it, there was very, very similar overlaps that were happening. So we thought, why not put it in the form of a book that could reach out to many more people, and they could have the tools and the techniques on their own to be empowered. So the guidance for the book came about a couple of years ago to co-author it. And I was waiting for my co-author to be ready, because I hadn't told her that I had received this guidance. I just let her come to a space where she was ready. And when I shared it, she was really on board with it. and it's been the most magical, miraculous journey. We completed the book and launched it in India. We celebrate Guru Purnima, where we honor all the teachers of all times and in all directions of time and space. So we launched the book on that day to honor the great masters who support us, but also to honor the teacher within each one of us, and to have access to day-to-day tools. So it has exercises that people like question and answers and activity sheets, so people can access their own insights. And I truly believe that everyone has that cosmic intelligence and energy within them. It's a matter of tapping into it. So we hope that the book helps you tap into that power that you have within you. So this is for the listeners. Thank you.
No, absolutely, and I do believe that too. And when I see my students and I see one that doesn't believe in himself or herself, and I say there's creativity in everyone. There is intelligence in everyone. It's just in a different, presented in a different way with different colors in different pictures. You just have to discover which one is for you.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's what I was thinking. You said that you were bringing 3 different exercises for us today, or
Oh,
yeah?
So I thought of sharing three tools that you can use,
Okay.
or metaphors that you can use, and one is in this era of social media and mobile phones. Let's use the example of a mobile phone, that every mobile phone, whether it is, a few dollars or a few $100,000, it needs to be recharged. And for it to be recharged, you have a charger which is specific to that phone. You can't necessarily swap chargers for phones. Similarly, you as a being have a specific way of connecting with that source. And interestingly enough, every mobile phone and every charger tunes into one source, which is electricity. So similarly, we are all electromagnetic beings. We have electricity running through us, and there is one way for everybody that they chose before being born, a way to connect. And whether it's a long walk, whether it's playing a sport, whether it's cooking, being with kids, or meditating, writing, it is each one's choice. If we can take a step back and not compare ourselves with where we are and what we need to do, just bringing ourselves to who am I? What do I need? What does my body, mind, and soul need right now, today? And then asking, how can I connect in this moment to myself? And that can be an empowering experience to tune in without comparison or expectation. The second point was surrender, that we all breathe. Surrender.
Surrender. Yes.
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 Yes. We can try and consciously breathe, but we're not making our heart beat. We can drink water, but the swallowing also, once it goes down, you're not controlling what happens to the water inside you, or the food. You're eating, you can chew it a few times and you can count the number of times you chew, but once it goes in, there is a cosmic intelligence that is taking care of everything inside your body and everything around on this planet. So the way the seasons are changing, it is when we interrupt that process that things start coming up. We start feeling obstacles in our life or blocks. And any obstacle is just a reminder to come back and resume a sense of flow. So when we are able to recognize that we are taken care of by this cosmic intelligence and love, that we are the source from which we have come, and we're made of that, we're already that, then we stop trying to control. And one of the biggest challenges is to be okay with uncertainty. Because since we're children, we're constantly trying to control our, weekly routine, what time we go to bed, what time we get up, what we want to do with our friends on weekends. We're learning how to control because it helps us to be disciplined. But when that discipline goes beyond a point to becoming too controlling, and we lose that sense of comfort and content of not knowing things, of not knowing what will happen after the pandemic, within a few months. We don't know. There are so many uncertainties. And the sooner we learn to have the courage to be okay with uncertainty, the more relaxed we can be, the more in flow and more easy our mind is more clear. So we get to receive our own insight and answers and directions from within our heart and soul more clearly. And the third point is self-love. Because we are so often caught up in making everything happen externally that we forget that the source of all life is within us, beating inside us. So if we can honor that source within us, that creator within us, we realize that we are living from a space of godliness and divinity. And recognizing the self as eternal and infinite without any boundaries that we have set for ourselves, the conditioning that we have brought up, and that is heavy. It's really difficult to give up conditioning and limited systems. But the moment you drop it, you realize you have so much power inside of you waiting to be tapped into. And that is self-realization, knowing you're not limited, that you're unlimited. So those are the three things I leave.
So let's wrap them up again. So number one is
connect.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I hope that everybody's like taking notes like me. And, because this is really important. And not only that, like you say, just write down all these things about yourself that you mentioned before. That what I tell the people that I interact with is that write it down. And if possible, don't type it. Write it, with a pen and a pencil and a paper,
Yes.
So you can see it faster and visualize it the old-fashioned way.
Yes. And it also helps, really embody those ideas because you're making it physical, right? So it's a great idea to write. So that's amazing.
So number one would be?
The number one was connect.
Connect.
Okay, and then we spoke about surrender.
And
self-love.
And then self-love. Okay.
Yeah. And I can give you 4 more C's. So the first is connect with yourself. The second is contemplate. Contemplate, where you are at in your life. See what's working for you, what's not working for you. Reevaluate your goals, and that helps to write. That's where the journaling comes in.
Exactly.
So connect with the source within you so that you're recharged every single day. Contemplate to make sure you're making the most of every day. And if the most of a day is just resting so that you get energy, that's also as important as going out and doing things. So contemplate. And the third is collaborate. Collaborate with the people that feel right to you. So there is no right and wrong. So for example, if you were to go from LA to San Francisco, and there was a bus going from LA to Florida, but your goal was to go to San Francisco, the bus that goes to Florida would be wrong for you. So it does not make the bus wrong, but it makes that choice of you getting onto that bus wrong because your goal is different. So identify.
I love that visualization. I love it.
So identify your goal and identify what is appropriate for you.
And that includes collaborating with others.
Yeah. And that includes collaborating with others. And the fourth C is contribute. Contribute to your loved ones, your society, your country. And all of that can only happen when you go back to the first C, which is connect.
True.
So that's the most
you cannot contribute if you don't know the people that you're going to be that you have before connected with, so you can collaborate and contribute and all those beautiful
ways. So the Sanskrit words for that we use are sadhana. Sadhana is the connection. your technique or tool. Sadhana is your inner journey that you stay committed to. Seva is the work that you contribute and help others and your family and your loved ones. And Satsang is collaboration. So what you and I have, Laura, is Satsang, because we are brought together by the truth that holds us. You know, that immediate connection was because we were connected to a truth that we both know inside us, you know.
So is that Sanskrit?
Sat means truth.
Mm-hmm.
S-A-T, Sat. Sat, yeah. And Sang is together.
Together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So truth and together. So we are having a Sat Sang right now.
Okay. Collaboration. I'll practice the word. No, and it's amazing, and I love it. It just feels so comfortable because just when it feels right, when it feels like family, when it feels like you are you have done this before. You know, I feel like we've done this before.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's because somehow for whatever reason it is right. And so anything else that you want to tell us before we wrap up here? Perhaps you want to, I know that you have been involved in a lot of worldwide in a lot of groups and programs and things. Perhaps you want to touch upon a little bit of that and tell us your collaboration with other with other groups to help and service others.
Yes. So we live in a city called Pune, which is not too far from Bombay in India, and I've grown up here. We have regular meditations that we have been doing over the years until the lockdown. We make sure that everyone's included, you know. So we have people from different backgrounds that we have free services for, and they're all family. So we don't have any clients. This is, you know, they're all absolutely everyone's family, and we live in a home, but our home is open to people who come over to meet us, and, you know, we just have long conversations. We eat together, pray together, meditate together, and we stay in touch, because even though people come for a short time, you know, it's just that one connection, and you know it's going to be eternal. And this year, especially with Grace, there have been several opportunities to reach out to many people. And thank you again for being Grace Manifest, Laura, for making this happen, for us to share this love with so many listeners in different parts of the world. So thank you.
And thank you.
The talks and conversations happen at different times, which I share on Instagram. My handle is Ananta_OM, AUM. You know, so
yeah.
Yeah. So not OM, but AUM.
Okay.
Yeah. And the website is www.anantaom.com. However, I do I'm not as active on my website as I probably should be, because I'm so, you know, immersed in sharing all this on different platforms. Wherever I get an opportunity to share, I'm sharing. So I get to be more active on Instagram and just let people know that I'm here. If you'd like to come join in, you know, come on over. We also do a weekly podcast, which is available on Spotify world over. It's Freedom Friday with Ananta O. And we talk about different aspects where we have been caught up mentally. So it's freedom from, again, expectations and thought processes, and moving one step at a time towards the infinite liberation of ourselves.
When we finish, send me, if you don't mind, send me all those links so that I can add to in the bottom of the video, so that everybody has access to everything you've mentioned. Of course, that's of course, it's way worth it, and I'm sure that they can learn more about you and what you do and your services and all that through these social media platforms. And were you finished telling us about your, or you want to tell us a little bit more?
About my work, yes, I'm done. But I could read out a poem for you from the book if you like.
Yeah, and before you do that, or after, it's up to you whether you read the poem before and after. Maybe some tips on how to navigate through these times. of COVID, and how for those people that feel that actually have family, relatives, and friends that are sick, others that have passed, unfortunately, that I know of, people that have family members that are sick, that have passed, or simply people that luckily are healthy, but they're suffering from anxiety, they're suffering from, maybe they lost a job, being separated from families, not being able to hug their parents and their loved ones and the elderly. There's a lot of things going on. That's why the energy is so heavy, because
Yes.
it's so many things going on. What would be your maybe 3-4 tips that you can offer people regarding the COVID-19?
Yeah. So first thing I'd love for all of you to do is close your eyes.
Yes, I love that.
Take a nice deep breath in and gently exhale. Just for now, keep aside all other thoughts and concerns. And this is a tune that is a Christmas song, but the words are for you, from my heart to yours. Sweet child, sweet child, sweet child of mine, sweet child, sweet child, sweet child of mine. There is nowhere else to go and nothing else to do, but just be, just breathe. Sweet child of mine. Just for now, let go all worries and just breathe. This breath has been your companion from the very first moment you were born on this planet. Regardless of relationships, jobs, people, places, this breath has stayed with you throughout. This breath is your constant companion, guardian, and friend. Allow this breath to remind you that the universe is constantly breathing life and love into you. Tune into your heart center right now and feel a tiny spark of pink light becoming bigger and bigger, glowing and radiating. This tiny little spark is expanding into your heart, warming your heart very, very gently, allowing all those pains and heaviness to be transmuted. Feel or imagine this light filling your entire body right now, engulfing you in a big, cosmic, loving hug. Let go all your concerns only for this moment. And just feel the universe hugging you. You are in this pink ball of light. Feel me hugging you right now as I send you so much love. And I know these are difficult times, but I also know you're doing the very best you can. And trust me, from this moment forward, you will find the right help coming to you. Are you ready? Say yes if you are.
Yes,
And then open your
I. Wow, that was a surprise. That was a beautiful, beautiful surprise. Unexpected, completely not planned, right?
Yeah, not planned.
Oh my God. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, you're never alone. No matter if you're living alone in a house, just remember that being alone is a spiritual impossibility. That's not going to happen. You always have your guides, guardian angels, loved ones sending you so much love from across not just the world, but across the universes.
Oh, wow. you know, I had to like make sure that I wouldn't lose you because I was going somewhere else. I'm like, wait a second, no, stay here. Thank you so much. And I think that we are ready to listen to your beautiful poem. You want to go ahead and read it?
So have it written here.
Yeah, I love poetry, so if it were for me, you would be here like 2 hours.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So this poem is called You and Me. Yeah. So ask me not where I come from, for there is no where or when. You will know it too when you look deep within. Ask me not my name, for I have not just one. You may know me as your breath, or meet me as a sun. Ask me not for miracles, for they are all there is. You may know it as science, or whatever else you will. Ask me not about truth, for it is not for me to say. Let your eyes become one and yourself reveal the play. Ask me why I am here, for I am here for you as me, to breathe the breath in oneness and to love ourselves as He. So, on that note.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. And thank you. Thank you for this beautiful space and moment that you gave me and us, the whole audience, your audience. You go ahead and feel free to share with your audience anything you want. And I'm gonna go ahead and share. And I hope that I really hope that we meet in person.
Yes.
I really hope.
That will happen.
Yes,
Yes.
I do. And anything else you want to say before we depart?
Love to all of you who are watching this in all directions of time. Remember, you are loved and you are love. You're made of love. So,
All right. Thank you very much. I will put down all your websites and all your information, and for people to buy your book, your new beautiful project.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Book, and I will go ahead and acquire it too because I can't wait. For sure. And so this was Laura Sanchez-Ramirez with Coaching for Life Goals, and beautiful Ananta here. We'll meet again.
Yes. Amen. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.